Gareth Southgate put out a lineup that drew many questions from the supporters. But I guess we can't say much about it now because he got the required results. Calvin Phillips, man of the match. Where was Declan Rice? England 1, Croatia 0, and it's your match review. Welcome guys to For the Fans. It's the World of Football show, Euro edition, and like I said in my pre-match, in my match preview of this game, I said that England will get the victory solely because Croatia have no firepower up front. Now I expected Croatia to play better than what they actually played in the game. I was disappointed in Croatia, they had no energy, but I think one thing that slipped my mind that was evident when I was watching Croatia now during this game was that Croatia have an old squad. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel as yet, don't be like this guy. Don't sleep. Subscribe right now so you can see more content of this quality. Their squad is aged. Their squad is past their best. And might I even say, this may sound harsh, but let me say that their squad is washed. Their team is washed. And I don't mean it in a negative sense. I just mean that these players can't play at that level anymore. Croatia, in the World Cup 2018, they had a squad that was primed and ready to win. That squad had to win. They've taken that same squad from 2018 World Cup into 2021, and those players are aged drastically. Luka Modric is 35 years old, turning 36 this year. Ivan Perisic is 32 years old. No player in Croatia can run fast. No player has pace. None of them. None of them are willing to go in behind the defense because they don't have pace. It's a slow team, and England dominated them physically. Physically, England dominated them. And the reason is because England got much younger players. England got a squad filled with youth and vibrance and energy. And physically, they dominated Croatia, especially in the first 20 minutes of the game. The first 20 minutes of the game, I've never seen England look so good. I haven't. They were looking good, they were looking sharp, and they were dominating Croatia physically. Physically, Croatia could not keep up with them because of how fast England were. The players are all in their at a young age, so they just want to run, and they've got all the energy in the world. And Croatia's old players could not keep up. Even Croatia had they had some players that are or maybe I think about 23. I think their left back is a young left back. But even that guy, look at his body build. Look at he's slow. He can't run. So that team is past their best, well past their best. And I think they will make it out the group. But I think they'll go out in round of 16. No doubts about that. They're not at the level anymore to challenge for trophies when they playing such old players. Look here, we saw Luka Modric play for Real Madrid. We saw Real Madrid as well. Our old Real Madrid played Chelsea. Luka Modric played in that Real Madrid. And physically, Real Madrid could not cope with Chelsea because Real Madrid are much older than Chelsea. They've got an old squad. So is the case today with Croatia and England. Croatia just could not match England because England got a much younger squad and a youthful squad than Croatia. Now, I'm looking on social media and I'm seeing people saying, oh, it was a fantastic performance from England and so forth. But guys, let's get one thing straight. When last have you watched England and seen them playing fantasy football? Seen them playing wonderful 1 and 2 touch football? When last have you watched them, seen them play, making triangles on the pitch and having passing patterns? When last? I can't remember when last I've seen England do that. England don't play good football. So for the people that are saying, oh, it wants a good performance, this is how England are tailor-made to perform. They tailor-made to perform like this, guys. When you've got Gareth Southgate as your manager, Gareth Southgate relegated Middlesbrough in the Premier League, the last time he was a club manager. When you got a manager like that, what football do you think that team is going to play? The team is a reflection of the manager. If England were managed by Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp or Zinedine Zidane, then you can say, we expect England to play better football. But when Gareth Southgate is your manager, you cannot expect anything better than that. England are tailor-made to perform like this, guys. And let me also say, I'm not saying this in such a negative light. Yes, we want our teams to play good football. We do want it. But guys, this is not a league campaign. This is a knockout competition. In knockout competition, it's not how you perform. It's all about the results. It's not about playing fantasy football and making 10,000 passes and playing one-touch football. It's all about getting the results. France, or a typical example of that. In the World Cup 2018, France were not playing beautiful football. I support France. I'm a French supporter. I support them, and I supported them in the World Cup, and I watched every single game they played in the World Cup, and they did not play good football. They were playing primarily on the counter-attack. Paul Pogba was releasing Kylian Mbappe. Paul Pogba was playing in his own half, releasing Kylian Mbappe with one pass. Kylian Mbappe had the whole green grass to run in. That was the system and the style of play they had. They were primarily playing on the counter-attack. Go back and look at the performances. The country that performed the best and played the best football was Belgium. In the World Cup 2018, Belgium played fantastic football. But guess what? Belgium came up against France in the semi-final and France beat them, because knockout competition is not about playing this fantasy football. It's about getting the required results. And England are tailor-made to get the required results. They are tailor-made to get the required results. So this was the performance that I expected from England. I expected this performance from England. Good goal from Raheem Sterling, a player that's really struggled this season. Really struggled with Manchester City. Lost his place in the first 11 at Manchester City, and rightfully so. This goal will give him a world of good. This was probably one of Sterling's best performances. Not one of. The best performance that I've seen of Sterling of late. The best performance. Even though he weren't so good, there were a lot of things that he could have done better, his decision making. But as I say, like how I expect England to perform a certain way, I expect this from Raheem Sterling. I expect Raheem Sterling to make wrong decisions in the game, because he's not a very intelligent footballer at all. His decision making is woeful. So I expect Raheem Sterling to make some poor decisions. I do expect that. But overall, I will say this was the best performance that I've seen of Raheem Sterling from this whole season. The best performance. So good goal for him. This goal will do him a world of good. His confidence. And Gareth Southgate likes Raheem Sterling, Raheem Sterling is probably one of the first names on his team sheet. And Raheem Sterling is going to start the next games, guys. He is going to start the next games because he scored a goal. So the only other available position is Phil Foden's position, because he didn't have a fantastic game. Foden did not have a fantastic game. Yes, in the first few minutes he hit the post, which is fantastic, he's a wonderful shooter. Phil Foden reminds me of Mason Greenwood. When the ball leaves their feet, there's a high possibility that it's going in. High possibility. But that was the only thing Phil Foden done in the game. Never do really much. I mean, the Foden that we've come to know from Manchester City, and the Foden that showed up today, it's two different Fodens. But you can expect that he's a young player. He hasn't played much at international level for England, so you can expect that. But that's the only position I can see available for the likes of Rashford, Grealish, Sancho. That's the only position I can see available, because Raheem Sterling got his position on lockdown. Mason Mount also never have a fantastic game. It is an average game from Mason Mount. There were certain things that he was doing well, but overall it was a fantastic game. But also, just like Foden, he doesn't have much experience on the international stage. So it's about growing pains. It's about, as they go, they will grow. They will get better, these boys. Harry Kane, I was disappointed in Harry Kane so much. Poor performance. I can't say poor performance, because he did not have much service. But I think his overall game was what I was really, I was really disappointed in. Because Harry Kane, we want to see Harry Kane in and around the box. Harry Kane was coming into the midfield, sometimes on the halfway line, to receive the ball. That's not where we want Harry Kane. We want Harry Kane in the box. He's a striker. Go in the box and let the players like Foden and Mount Their responsibility is to bring you the ball. Same with Raheem Sterling. His responsibility is to get you the ball. You are the striker. So when Harry Kane is dropping so deep, he's of no threat. Yes, Harry Kane got a wonderful pass. Yes, he's good on the ball. He can make things happen. We've seen that in the Premier League. He was a top assister in the Premier League. But that's not where we want to see Harry Kane, guys. We want to see Harry Kane in and around the box scoring goals. And Gareth Southgate ended up taking Harry Kane off in the second half, replacing him with I think with Marcus Rashford or someone like that. But Harry Kane had I would say a poor outing for him. But guys, it is the first game. It is the first game, so players are allowed to get into the match rhythm and feel their way into games. But the player that had the worst game on the pitch for England had to be Kyle Walker. But this is Kyle Walker's game, guys. He does make mistakes. Even for Manchester City, he does make mistakes. He does make mistakes. So expect that from Kyle Walker. It's the same with John Stones. John Stones makes mistakes. Expect that from John Stones. That's what you're going to get with these players. You're going to get that same like how when you're watching Raheem Sterling, expect Raheem Sterling to make wrong decisions. That's his game. That's his game. Same with Rashford. Rashford, you can also expect him to run straight into opponents using no skill, using no dribbling techniques, just running straight into them. Expect these things because this is what they do on a game-to-game basis. So Kyle Walker was the worst player on the pitch, but I expect Kyle Walker to get better as the tournament goes because he is a top-class right-back. I was impressed with John Stones and Tyrone Mings, especially Tyrone Mings. I think he did not put a foot wrong at all. He looked sound, he looked solid, and he looked really good in a place where he's challenging Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is not 100% match fit, so he looked good in Harry Maguire's stead. Then you go to left back position. Kieran Trippier never had much to do because Croatia are slow. Croatia won't go past the tortoise. They can't run past the tortoise. So we nowhere in the game where they're running past Trippier or even trouble Trippier because they don't have wingers like that. They don't have wingers like that. But what I will say is that I don't understand. I don't understand why Southgate would... He's got two top-class left-backs, Ben Chilwell, Luke Shaw. I don't understand why he would want to play a right-back in the left-back position, where even you saw when Kieran Trippier was getting forward, he was always cutting in field to go onto his right foot. So England had no true width on the left-hand side because if you got a left-back, he's going to keep the width for you and go down the byline and try and whip in a cross. But that's not what Kieran Trippier was doing because he's right-footed. Now, maybe Gareth Southgate put Kieran Trippier in the squad just for set pieces, but you don't do that. You don't include a player just in your squad for set pieces. You don't do that. You never ever do that. The game is more than set pieces. And furthermore, you don't go into a game hoping to score from a set piece. You go into a game hoping to score from in-game, in-play moments. So that's a decision that I think Gareth Southgate needs to sort out. And he needs to put either Ben Chilwell or Luke Shaw there. And Luke Shaw is the better defender. He is better than Kieran Trippier in defending. So I don't understand that. And Ben Chilwell is better than Kieran Trippier going forward. So that's that. Let's talk about Declan Rice before we talk about the man of the match. Declan Rice, I did not see much of Declan Rice in this game. And this is the reason why I'm against Manchester United signing Declan Rice. Now, Declan Rice is not a bad player. He's not a bad player at all. He's a good player. But as a Manchester United fan, Manchester United should not be signing good players. Manchester United should be signing the best players that are available. Declan Rice is not the best centre defensive midfielder or one of the best centre CDMs in the league. Ndidi is better than Declan Rice. Basuma is better than Declan Rice. And they're all cheaper than Declan Rice. So I'm against Declan Rice wholeheartedly. Furthermore, the performance that I saw Declan Rice put out now for England is the performance that I see him put out against West Ham. Whenever I watch Declan Rice, I see the game bypassing him. I don't see him in the game. Not bypassing him. I don't see him in the game. I don't see what he brings into the game. I know he's a CDM and he's there to break up play. But I saw Calvin Phillips breaking up play and getting forward. But I saw him breaking up play more than Declan Rice. I did not see Declan Rice in the game. And that's why I don't want Manchester United to sign Declan Rice. Is because I don't see him much in the game. And Manchester United got too many players like that. Scott McTominay is another player. Hides on the pitch. So that's my verdict on Declan Rice. He's a good player, but he's not one of the best CDMs. Therefore, why should one of the biggest clubs in the world not go for the best targets that are available? Ndidi's available, Basuma's available. There's the Monaco CDM. I don't know how to say his name. Plays for France under 21. Absolutely outstanding. He's available. Go for those players. Let's talk about the man of the match. Man of the match, Calvin Phillips. What a performance. What a performance. As I'm saying, I saw more of Calvin Phillips than I saw of Declan Rice. Now, I know Calvin Phillips had license to go forward. I know that. But even from a defensive point of view, I saw him getting stuck. I saw him even making fouls. It's not good to make fouls, but I saw him doing all these things, winning the ball back, being strong in the tackle, more than I saw Declan Rice. Fantastic performance from Calvin Phillips and the energy he has. But he has that energy because of Leeds. You know, Leeds play a high-intensity game. Leeds play one-on-one. They defend one-on-one. They attack one-on-one. They isolate you. And that's why he has that energy and that strength. Even at the dying minutes of the game, he was still running like a wild animal. So, fantastic performance from Calvin Phillips. And then the assist. The assist, that reverse pass, no one expected that pass, and he made that pass with his weaker foot, with his left foot. Fantastic performance from Calvin Phillips. If you're asking me, I think he should be starting ahead of Rice should the manager want to play one holding midfielder, but he will never do that because Gareth Southgate's a pragmatic manager. So yeah, the shocking decision was Marcus Rashford being on the bench, and I think you're going to see more of that. Gareth Southgate, when he brought Marcus Rashford on, he played Marcus Rashford on the right wing. Rashford is not good on the right wing. So if that's going to be Rashford's position on the right wing, then I'm sorry, Rashford's not going to feature much in this tournament because there's many players that are better than him on the right wing. Sancho's better than him. Foden's better than him on the right wing. Even a player like Mason Mount, if you want to put him there, he's better than Rashford on the right wing. So if Rashford is going to play on the right wing, he's not going to get much minutes in this tournament. It was a bold decision to leave him out the team. Bold decision. I mean, it's also a bold decision to leave Jack Grealish out the team, but I expect also Jack Grealish not to get much starting minutes. I expect Jack Grealish to come off the bench. Same with Jadon Sancho. I expect Jadon Sancho to come off the bench, not starting games. And that's the reason why when Mason Greenwood pulled out of the England squad, I weren't too unhappy. I wasn't unhappy at all. I'm never make a fuss over it because the truth of the matter is Mason Greenwood weren't going to get much minutes. There are a lot of people that are ahead of Mason Greenwood. So it's no biggie if Mason Greenwood missed this tournament because he's still young. He's a teenager. He'll see many more European championships. So that's why I wasn't too fussed about it. So that's the same with Jadon Sancho. He won't see much minutes. That's on England, guys. I think England will qualify first place in their group. Although that's not a good thing to do because the first place qualifier takes on Group's F runner-up. And in Group F, you got Germany, France, and Portugal. So if England are playing one of those teams in the round of 16, guys, it's going to be peak. It's going to be peak. It's going to be peak because those teams are very good and they're well-drilled and they've got world-class players. Especially France. France got superstars. And then you've got Portugal that got the big man on the top there wearing number 7 on the back of his shirt. That guy, one chance, he scores 2 goals. That's how good he is. So England finishing first in their group. I would prefer if they finish second so that they can get a lighter draw in the round of 16. However, you know, sometimes you can't choose these things, guys. You just have to go and win your games and see what happens. From a Croatia point of view, I was disappointed to see how bad the team has got over the last few years. Obviously, age plays a factor and age is the factor. It is the factor because Modric and Perisic in the World Cup, they were fantastic. But fast forward 3 years later, obviously they aged and they're not the same players. Croatia, they can play football. They're okay. They're good on the ball. Today they showed that they're okay on the ball. They weren't fantastic. But I think that's got a lot to do with England. England were disciplined. They were set out to negate Croatia and they done that. So it's interesting to see if Croatia will even qualify out this group. Interesting. Maybe Scotland. Maybe Scotland can do something and qualify because they've got decent players. Scotland have decent players. They've got Scott McTominay. They've got that Aston John McGinn. So they've got some decent players. So hopefully they can maybe do something in the group and finish second. So guys, that's my match review. As I said, Calvin Phillips, man of the match all day, every day. Disappointed in Harry Kane, but I know Harry Kane will come back in the next game stronger and he will get his goals because he's a goal machine. Interesting to see who Gareth Southgate plays on the right wing, because Raheem Sterling, I think, solidified his place in the left wing for the next few games just by scoring this goal. So interesting to see who plays on the right wing. Does he stick with Foden? Does he maybe include Jadon Sancho? Does he maybe opt for Rashford? But Rashford will be very poor on the right wing. So it's interesting to see what does Gareth Southgate do. Let's see what he does for the next game when they play. This is for the fans. It's the World of Football show. Hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. I'll see you all. Peace.